while ago, and it was super like glitchy and slow and like 2 frames per second, and I don't know if you guys remember that. But it doesn't seem like it's doing that, so it might have been fixed. So if so, that's amazing. Hello, everybody. If you're in the Telegram chat for the community, you'll see that I was going to stream at 5 p.m. today, but we have been waiting to get a new vehicle. We've been waiting to trade in our Mustang, our small little 2014 rear-wheel drive Mustang, and we finally you guys know that I've been working on 2 main manifestations, and it's to actually get a vehicle that will get us from here to Washington, because last time we went there in the Mustang, it broke down. So that was number 1 manifestation. And number 2 is to actually get to Washington and to get out of Utah, because that's when I feel like that's when everything's going to come to life. That's when the content on the channel is going to come to life. That's when so much time is going to open up, because I'm not like stuck trying to prepare or to go through shit or whatever. I just feel like everything is going to get so much easier once I'm out in Washington. What's up, anime girl? So good to see you. So as far as the vehicle, I did get that traded in today. I was gonna stream at 5 p.m. and then I don't know, I've never bought a new vehicle before, so I didn't know the process really, but it took all day. I finally just got back at home, and I just wanted to update you guys and go live anyways, even though most of you will probably see this tomorrow or something. But things are happening, and I know that, like, it's hard for me to be the type of person that, like, makes a public post on, like, Instagram or Facebook or anything, like, anytime I'm going through anything, because I get so overwhelmed and I just, like, get things done, and I kind of work in the shadows in that way, I guess. And so there's some people that, like, in the midst of all the shit they're doing in their life, they're, like, updating, okay, day 2 of whatever. I just have to, like, get lost in the thing and get it taken care of. And so I have been chatting with you guys, like, in the Telegram and stuff, but I haven't really been able to make cool content on the stuff that I'm doing in my life, or, you know, the house tour. I have a house tour video I was supposed to make forever ago, and I only have the nighttime stuff recorded because everything's been a mess here getting prepared to move. So even though you can't see all the stuff that's behind the scenes, know that a lot of shit is happening. I have a 3rd YouTube channel that is getting prepared to launch. I have a lucid dreaming course that is about to launch in April. I have plans for in-person retreats out in Washington with you guys. My website's being worked on. I'm writing a book. Like, there's so much that I don't talk about, but that's just because I like to show up or present something once it's already done, you know? And I don't know, there's so many things that are happening in my life right now, and I'm like, oh my god, I just wish that I could show my community, and I wish that I was better at, like, still working and maintaining certain momentum with content, like, while shit's crazy. Oh, congratulations, you need to learn how to cartoon. Yeah, I had no idea, like, the whole process. I mean, like, me and Chance have had our Mustang basically our entire relationship. We got that when we first met, and this one is a 2024 Santa Fe, which I'm very, very proud of myself, because I never thought that I'd be able to do something like that, you know, by myself. And I just barely got my credit last year. So I'm like, oh my gosh, adulting. Things are happening. I'm feeling a little bit like an adult. It's feeling great. But yes, we got it. This is going to open up so much as far as stuff for the channel as well, because Chance is also getting into, like, drone stuff, and he got a super cool drone. Dude, we're gonna have the coolest B-roll sometime on this channel, and all the adventures we'll be able to take now that we're not in a rear-wheel drive will be amazing. And, like, last time I went to Washington, last year, we took our dog with us, of course, and we just packed up the tiny, tiny Mustang, and I'm kidding, there's, like, no room, no wiggle room at all. We were, like, packed in there, and it was doable, but it wasn't necessarily comfortable, and also the car broke down on the way back, and so not only were we crammed with, like, no room to breathe, but we were also stuck on the side of the road for a couple hours. So I was like, maybe we need to get a new vehicle before we move to Washington. And I journaled it out. I journaled kind of like what I wanted for Washington. And then literally, not even really with me trying, the universe just started to align things that made it happen in less than a month. It's super, super cool. But now that's out of the way, we have our new vehicle. I'll show you that soon. And next up is Washington. I was a little bit sad today because I woke up and my day, how I had my day planned is we're just gonna pop over and get the vehicle really quick. You know, should take no time at all. I had a couple calls today, coaching calls I was supposed to do, and then my live at 5, which you guys know. And then we got a call that the car was gonna be ready like right before I was supposed to stream, and I had to sign for it, so that's kind of why we're delayed until now. But also, I woke up and the house that we applied for, that is like the house of my dreams, we were third in line, and the person in front of us got it. So, you know, I got a little too attached to it. I admit that. I got a little too attached to it. I admit that's just part of the process of moving. Shit happens. You know, you're gonna be led to exactly where you're supposed to go. But I woke up with that news and I was already, you know, I was really, really hoping for that. But I'm so glad that one of the big manifestations we've been waiting for has come to fruition, because this is what's going to allow us. Hey Ashley, I love you. Thanks so much for coming to hang out, guys. Forrest, what's up? So the only thing left to do now is to clear out my apartment and then to lock in a place. And what's cool is we're going to be renting for like, I don't know, like a year out there, maybe longer, I don't know. But I'm in a 2-bed, 2-bath right now. Just a little apartment here. Forrest, thank you so much for your support, my friend. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you. Even just like chilling with me. That is a gift to me. So thank you, Forrest, so much for your support. Oh my god, I love you guys. What was I saying? Okay, yes, I'm in a 2-bed, 2-bath right now. I'm eyeing down like a 4-bedroom house. That would be so cool. Of course, renting, so it's like way cheaper, but also a yard. My dog deserves a yard. He is 10 years old. He is the most precious thing that you've ever seen in your whole life, and he's never had a yard to himself. Do you know? Do you know? Hey, look at you. So yes, he deserves a yard. He's a little sweet boy. I just wanted to see you. You want to come up? Probably won't come up because chances are. Hey, I just wanted to see you. I just wanted to see you. I just wanted to see you, baby. But yes, he definitely deserves all the space in the world, and I don't think you guys can really see right now. Well, I guess kind of. Let me see if I can flip this around. So that's my office. There's no door. I just put like an Asian divider thing there. It's like a little den. And so I've made that my office. And I'm very excited because in this house, I'm going to have an office with a door. It's going to have a door on it. How cool is that? So I'm very excited. I hope to have a place where I could like paint and shit without having to put blankets or like towels on the ground. So that will be pretty cool. And just to be in a completely new area, content's going to be so different. You guys are going to go camping with me, like, and I'm sure also it's probably not super exciting, like every video you see from me being in the same place, being in the same apartment, or being in the same vicinity, you know. I'm really excited for everything to change. Literally everything is about to change. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me as I'm like slow on content and everything, because there's so much happening in the back end. And so much I feel like is going to change when we're out there, like my daily routines, the type of content that I make, the type of adventures that I'm able to have. Now we have a vehicle that works, so we'll be able to to explore, and I'll be able to show you guys all around. And what's cool, I've already talked about this, but there's no way that I'd be able to do any sort of like lucid dreaming retreats here or anything. Like there's no way we could do that in Utah with where I'm at. And so Washington is going to open up so many new ways for you and I to connect to each other, which I'm so excited about. But also that's where like all this shit the past few years has been preparing for this. So my time is about to open up. Oh my gosh. And then I'll be able to refocus on my YouTube channels and really bring back my podcast. I've missed my podcast so much. I really miss my podcast. Hopefully you don't breed ever. Don't worry, I don't want children. So you and I are both on the same page there. But my podcast, To Lucidity and Beyond, I'm super excited to bring that back. And there's just so much that I'm excited to explore with you guys. And so this live stream was really just kind of an update on what's been going on today, where have I been, what's going on, why are things so crazy on my end? And yeah, it's all been kind of leading up to this. I have so many courses and programs planned for you guys, revolving around dreams, consciousness, all of the things. And so I don't really, like I said, I don't really like to talk about projects too much that I'm working on until I feel like they're an entity, they're about to be completed, you know, because sometimes shit gets in the way, sometimes things get delayed, and there's just so much that I'm working on that I wish I could show you guys. But everything will all really start to come together within the next month or two. I should be leaving to Washington in the next month or so, month and a half. So that's when everything really is going to start aligning. But I hope that you guys are having an incredible night. I really need to get back to caring for some of my plants. The winter really took a... I cannot zoom slowly, it seems. The winter really took its toll on all my plants. So I've got some work to do to bring them back to life. Also, I don't know, did I ever show you guys my terrarium? Let me see. I have a little terrarium. He's not doing crazy well. I guess he's okay. So I just barely put string of turtles in, and if you see, it looks like a turtle shell. That's why it's called string of turtles. And so that is the newest one I've got going. It looks like it's doing pretty well because it's growing. I had to start pushing it all down in here because it started to like come out. But this is called a creeping fig. This is a variated creeping fig. Variated just means there's multicolors on it. So this is like a little special type of creeping fig. Let's let them out. I was pushing them all in here. But yeah, just on my paint table because that's the only spot I have right now that has accurate lighting. See, as you can see, shit's just a little bit crazy. It's not terrible, but things are everywhere, and that's why I haven't really wanted to give a full house tour of my office because things are not organized. But I do have a house tour filmed. Because the way it looks at night, once I have everything set up, is super dope. And so I want to get that done. Hopefully that way I can post that and then show you guys my new place shortly after. And that's where all the fun is going to take place. Like, I am so excited to create differently in this new area. Oh, cool. Is it an herb? So, string of turtles. This is the main string of turtles plant, and it's dying. As you can see, I need to repot it. But yeah, they look like tiny little turtle shells. So I just literally cut a piece off and put it in there, and then it just started growing on its own. These are little, it's called a jelly bean succulent. I need to repot those. Those were just tiny little bean, and then they grew into its own little plant. This is a dragon tree. It needs a little bit of water. As you guys can see, they've struggled a little bit. And my peace lily, I need to kind of I need to kind of fix up. Oh yeah. And then this is my whole dreaming section. This is where all my dream herbs are and my dream capsules. Everything is just a mess. So this is why I haven't necessarily filmed my house tour yet, because it's been so hard to keep clean while I go through everything. But oh yes. Oh, I do have something cool to show you. So my brother, the one that I met through DNA, so he's very creative and he's been making dream catchers, and this is one of the ones he made for me. He made it so they're interchangeable. You can literally undo this and then this part's just open and you can put in any dream catcher you want. These two go together, but can you read what this says right here on that line? It says, "Am I dreaming?" I didn't even notice that until after. But yeah, I put "Am I dreaming" on it. And he's making a ton of these dream catchers, and I plan to offer these to you guys in my community, whether it's for giveaways. They'll be available for purchase on my website. If you sign up for my courses, sometimes I give little gifts away, like books or stuff like that. So that will be one of the gifts that I give away, is some dream catchers. Here's some other ones he made. That's nice. And that one. What's your favorite thing about your living space? I would say how fun and colorful and playful it is, especially when it's not a giant mess. I'll have to stream like later this week or next week and really get all my fun stuff out, because let me see. I have in my office, I have the Harry Potter floating candles. Like lots of fun little lights. Let me see. So I think it's just how fun everything is. Okay. You see? And I have this little wand here. Whew. So I'd say, oh yeah, looks like I need to replace some of the batteries. But little floating candles here. I have a little galaxy projector thing also. I don't think it's plugged in. I was not prepared for this, guys. This is what I mean by like shit is just unorganized and not beautiful right now. But I can't wait to set everything up in my new space. Like, let me see, what else is new? Oh yeah, Chance got me this light. It says Sweet Dreams, and that's kind of where my coffee tea section is. It's a little messy right now, I know. That's something I find pretty freaking cool. This light, I have this cloud. It's like an RGB cloud, and you can change the colors in it, or it also can be programmed to go off of like sound and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I guess just all my weird little dreamy things. When I walk around my space and my apartment, I'm reminded of dreams. I'm reminded of the dream world. I'm taken to kind of a childlike place because I'm like that naturally, and I think my space is very loud and reflects that. It might be a little too extra for like normal people, but I love all the lights. I love I recently got this let me see if I could turn on this light. This little hammock for all my stuffed animals. At least most of them. And there's a lot packed in there too. That's a new lilac cow I got not too long ago. You know, just put everything everywhere. Make it just fun, you know? Oh, I don't know if I have any Zelda heads in here, but I got these pillows, the heart container, the Master Shield, Got a cool little Korok for you. We got some pineapples here. Got a little dragon with some hot sauce. I love stuffed animals. That's one thing I really enjoy. See, the hammock definitely couldn't hold all of them, and I also have 2 more bags full in my closet of stuffed animals. So you know, I think that's maybe one thing I really enjoy about my space is just looking around and never getting bored. There's always, whether the lights are on or off, there's always something to look at. Oh yeah, look at this. I got this at some oddities shop. It's a dollar bill thing, $100 bill made out of pure jade. Thought it was kind of cool. So I just have tons of random shit. I think that's what's fun about it. Zelda pillows, yes, and they're like the squishmallow quality. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. The softest pillows you could possibly imagine. That's what. Let's see, what else is fun that I could show you? I might need to prepare for this next stream. I just plan to come on and be like, hey, I'm exhausted from my day, but I'm still gonna try to show up anyways. I don't know if you guys saw this. I've been painting huge fucking pumpkins. This is a massive, massive pumpkin. I can barely lift it. But you know, just some weird things I do in my spare time. Collect sticks, paint mushrooms on pumpkins. You know, the usual stuff. The usual stuff. Oh, have you played Tears of the Kingdom? Yes, it is a real pumpkin. I have a few real pumpkins in here still. This one's a bumpy one that I got. Just for fun. But if you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, it is truly the best Zelda experience ever. It is so fun. I have like 600 hours in that. That's like total time ever though in Tears of the Kingdom. But I just barely picked up a Switch not too long ago. And so I have a lot of Zelda games to go back and play because I just barely got a Switch. Also, if you care to see these plants, I have a lot of jade plants. This one is called String of Buttons, and it's not supposed to go straight up. Usually they kind of fall like the string of turtles, but this one's loving the light. This one's also variegated as well, so you're gonna see the dark and light colors. This one's another creeping fig. Oh yeah, here's another real pumpkin. Don't worry. I just have random vegetables spread throughout my house. Don't worry about it, actually. It's all fine. If you care. I got a whole set of new magnets. Because I know you care about that. I know you care about them. How do you keep them from rotting? So, I do throw them away once they do start to rot, but I found, like, once you have paint or clear coat or something on the pumpkins, they last, like, absurdly long. Like, I got those in October, and one was bad, so I threw that one out, but I still have 3, and they're totally fine. So I just paint on them, and I love the texture of the pumpkins when you're painting on them. The porous texture is just like so good for blending and stuff. And if you've never painted on rocks, I highly recommend that. I go out and find just kind of whatever rocks I want, and this can be a standalone little canvas. Let me actually show you one that I made chance. I'll go back and get this. Hello, I'm just showing people this rock. Okay. So this is like a normal little rock, but I painted the other side. And so it stands where it can display the painting perfectly. And this is probably one of my favorite little rock paintings I've done. I just love I don't know, I love the colors. The white with the red. Thank you! I found that sometimes it's easier to paint on rocks for some reason. I don't know why. Um, here's the first one I ever painted on. It's a little tricky to do mountains, but I don't know, there's something, it's so much funner to paint on rocks. Like the I don't know, the way that the rock feels on the paintbrush, or the way the paintbrush feels on the rocks. It's unreal. I don't know. It's amazing. But we definitely need to have more. And that's also why I haven't done a lot of painting streams also. Just because to figure out how to film over myself just with my phone has been a little bit tricky. But like I said, everything is getting easier. So, and plus, what do you guys want to see outside of the stuff that we do? Outside of the dream work topics that we discuss, what is stuff that interests you guys? Like me reviewing my favorite books, you watching me paint on a live stream, taking you guys on a hiking adventure. Like, what are the kind of things that you guys would like to see now and in the future? Because a lot is going to be able to open up. Forrest, I just love you all so, so much. Oh, video game. You know, that would be very interesting. Sometimes, I don't know what games sometimes for me to stream, that I would stream, because I'm the type of person sometimes that I love puzzles and like games like that. And sometimes I just zone out and I just like zone out for 10 minutes while I think of how to do a puzzle in my head. And I feel like sometimes that's how I play video games, is I'm like so in my world. But I did stream Superliminal, and I thought that was a blast. I don't know if you guys like that. I love that. Okay, you've been streaming. I used to stream on Twitch, actually, guys. I think it was three 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I would stream on Twitch every single Friday. And I'd play like 7 Days to Die and stuff like that. Like lots of psychological type horror games, because those are very fun as well. But it didn't make sense for me to stream on YouTube and Twitch, so I kind of had to choose between them, because streaming on Twitch took a lot of time, because I was streaming for like 6 to 10 hours every single Friday, just playing games all night. And that's all fun and games as well, but that's around when I really started to pick up with my YouTube channel and wanted to dedicate more time to that. Not very many, maybe like 400, 500 followers or something on there. I really didn't stream on there for too terribly long, maybe like 8 months. I don't even know. I felt like it was kind of hard for me to make anything out of Twitch streaming. I don't know. And I'm sure it was also probably the niche I'm in as well, because in the titles a lot of the time, like even though I would be playing games, I would be talking to people about lucid dreaming and stuff, because you know, anytime I can talk about that, I gotta talk about it. So yeah, it did, like you said, it did help me get out of my comfort zone. It did help me get used to like talking to the camera. And just that consistency of like showing up somewhere like every Friday or every Monday and building a community from that, I think it's rewarding, not only for the people watching, but then you want to show up to chat with your community, you know, and playing games with people. Oh yeah, we'd play golf with your friends and like golf it and stuff. And that was so fun. We'll have to maybe do some sort of tournament like that here. Because a golf tournament is exactly what this community is missing. That's exactly what we're missing. Hey, might as well. That's what Chance would do as well. Sometimes he'd use a cam, but a lot of the time, yeah, he would just chat to people and play whatever games he wanted. What's up, Ballooners? How's it going? But yeah, that's definitely one thing that and like even before I started my YouTube channel, I was going live on like Facebook, in my Facebook page, like every day. And that's where I was doing these like DreamWork talks and all of that. And so it's been interesting to see how things have changed and developed over time. But I'm definitely excited. The main things I'd say for the main channel is I want to do more lives. I want to get back into regular content on the channel, so like a couple times a week, at least once a week, a really good, well-edited video on something. And I do have an editor now that will help with that, so I don't have to worry about the editing portion so much. But I just want to fuck around and just do random shit and have you guys there. Like, I really just want to be able to show you guys everything that is happening behind the scenes. And also, I miss some of this series that we used to do, like the meme review. I don't know if you guys remember. That was fun, but that's kind of what I want to bring back is just more fun, playful, regular content type videos. Of course, the live stream. I want to make more shorts as well. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the Lucid Dreaming Challenge series. I don't know how many videos I did in that. Maybe 20? Maybe not. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it was like 5-minute videos on like a challenge to give you to explore within the dream or the lucid dream state, and that was super fun. And if you ever feel kind of lost in your practice or you need some sort of inspiration, I found that that series could be very helpful to give you some direction on what to try within your lucid dreams. Like, for example, to build lucid dream control in your next lucid dream, try to create fire in the palm of your hand, you know. Cool tests like that that help you build your skills within the dream realm and help you feel closer to your dreams. That's kind of what that series was. So there's so many things. Tea Time Talks is another series we had on here, and it's basically like just long form talks about deep topics over tea. You know, and some of those things don't perform as well as other things, and I don't really do it for that. I really just do it so there's so many different avenues of things we could do and discuss and ways we can connect. And yeah, so if you guys have any ideas in particular of things that you would like to see on the channel, whether it's now or in the future in Washington, shit's about to get fucking crazy in Washington. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. There's just so many things I wish I could talk about now, but I can't. Does the hypnagogic Wow, I can't talk. Did you hear that? What was that? Does the hypnagogic images you see before you dream mean anything? So usually during the hypnagogic images you see and stuff like that, it isn't necessarily relating to anything in particular. Entering that stage is mostly just like a way to let you kind of know what phase you're in, where the body is. Because as soon as you start to see hypnagogic imagery, your body is becoming so relaxed that your body is getting prepared for sleep. So as soon as you start to see hypnagogic imagery, you know that after a certain period of time, that's when the dream state and its associated like symptoms are going to kick in. But as far as the content you see in your dreams, or in the hypnagogic imagery, a lot of the time it's from the most recent day that you've had. Like, let's say that you watched The Office or whatever, you know? Maybe in your hypnagogic imagery, you'd see, like, the moon come up in the sky, but the moon's face looked like Michael Scott or something, and then it disappeared and went away. Like, hypnagogic imagery is kind of like that, where things don't necessarily have a meaning. It's just kind of all the information that was most recently like processed or taken in is now being expressed through this state of consciousness, you know. But it usually doesn't follow like a theme or a story or anything like that. It's kind of usually just like random stuff that you don't really, there's no way to really follow what it's saying, if that makes sense. Let me see. Okay. Fear of judgment, or maybe it's not. It's by the way, anime girl, that's very totally normal, to feel that way. Like, when I first started my YouTube channel, I didn't even know how to talk to the camera. I made like you know what's so weird? I made a course before I made my YouTube channel, or like did anything with my YouTube channel, because when I was learning about building a business and how I can do that, I was kind of learning everything all at the same time. So I learned how to build a course and how to start a YouTube channel like at the same time. So I basically made them at the same time. And I remember the first video, you guys actually might, you'll have to go back to the very first video that I made on here, so you know what I mean. I think one of them might be unlisted, but I do leave all my videos basically on here. But I think the first video I ever made on here was like a 7 secret benefits to lucid dreaming video, but you can't even hear me. It's like a very, whatever. But the next video, which I think is what I unlisted, but it was like me promoting the new course that I just made. And I remember making a script like, have you ever wanted to control your dreams? It's like that kind of thing. I remember I wrote it all out on a notebook. All out on a notebook. I just barely got my ring light. I just barely got this really shitty camera. I was so excited, sit in the middle of the bed. Okay, we got this. I didn't know how to edit, by the way, so there were not going to be cuts in the video. It was kind of like a one take type of video, which probably added to the pressure. Because I was like, okay, and if I fuck up, that's fine. I just do it all over. Because I don't know how to edit yet, so, we're just gonna do it until we figure it out. So, I was putting a little bit of pressure on myself, but I remember reading the script, having my camera sitting in front of me and clicking go on the camera and like needing to go through the whole script, like almost memorizing it so I didn't have to look down. I was sweating. I was stumbling over my words. I can't tell you how long it took me to make that video. I think the video was like 5 to 7 minutes and it took me like 4 hours to record it. And this was like the first videos I've ever made. So that's just part of the process, anime girl. I think just you showing up, it's going to get more comfortable. Plus, when you first start streaming or something, you don't feel like anybody's listening. You don't feel like anyone's there. And it can kind of make it feel like you're talking to yourself or like you're feeling super self-critical of the things you're saying or how you look or like whatever it may be. There's just a ton of like insecurities I feel like that come up when you start being vulnerable in this new way. And that's kind of also how I was as well. It just like, I don't know, I didn't know how to still keep the stream going without any interaction. And that's kind of like a little buffer period that you kind of get over when you start streaming, is like, how can I get comfortable talking even if it's not to any person in particular? But after you kind of get used to it, you start making a few videos or you start live streaming, even just one person in there asking you a question or talking to you. Now it's like you have an actual person that you're talking to behind the screen, like me and you right now. It doesn't feel like I'm looking at my phone and talking to a camera right now. It feels like I'm talking to you right now. And so eventually that just naturally starts to take over. But especially with like talking to a camera and things like that, people are like, well, how do you get over like talking to a camera? And I don't know, I just think of the people on the other side that are listening to what I'm saying, like the questions everything we're discussing right now in here. It just eventually gets easy to talk to those people without feeling like there's anything in between. So just keep at it. That's the biggest thing I can recommend. Keep at it. Challenge your comfort zones, because often things that we think we can't do are just things that we don't have experience with. And so your brain doesn't have any evidence to show that you can do it or that it is okay or that it is easy. And so the best way to expand your comfort zone is to challenge where the line of your comfort zone is. And I promise you that's when life really starts to get fun, because you get to discover the huge potential of who you are. All these gifts, skills, talents, and abilities that you didn't even know about because you stayed within your comfort zone, and so I think building a business, creating content, all of that, like even creating art, teaches you so much about yourself because you run into so many blocks along the way. But as far as blocks, it's like your own inner limitations. And hey, if I say anything, which I say this a lot ever since I heard it from Yes Theory, but limitations are only perceptions. The limitations that we only have because that's our perceived limit. It's been shown that people can go past their limits. Like, for example, even like when you're working out or doing crunches or whatever. Let's say you're working with a coach and you're like, I can only have like 10 more in me. They're like, okay, do 10 more crunches, 10, 9, 8, right before you get to 2. All right, 5 more, you can do it. And all of a sudden now you have the capacity to do 5 more crunches. Like, we stop before we actually reach our true potential. almost every single time. And so exploring what it feels like to go beyond your comfort zone, like just seeing what that feels like, because our brain perceives it as danger. Oh my gosh, if we go past our comfort zone, we're going to die. Like, we are going to fail, or this is going to happen, or blah, 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 blah. And no one said you can't be scared or you can't feel fear. You just acknowledge that and you do the thing anyways. You stop letting it paralyze you. And then once your brain realizes you can walk with fear, it's like, what the fuck? I can feel this way and do the thing anyways. The moment you do that, it immediately gets easier after. I promise you. And then everything that you haven't done before and you think you may be able to do, like, that all just feels like a challenge. It just feels like a fun challenge. And every single time you push past your comfort zone or a fear, you discover a new version of yourself on the other side of it. And now you're starting to not only build confidence, but self-love, momentum. Now you're able to start getting creative with how you push past your comfort zones in these different ways. It's just, if I could say anything, it's just to stick with it and to totally acknowledge how you feel, but just to do the things anyways. Because once you stop letting fear keep you still, you'll realize how much momentum you can build off of that emotion. And fear is the exact same to the brain as excitement. And so if you ever feel fear or you feel anxious, and you can feel it inside, I want you just to change your words. Instead of like, oh, I feel anxious or this and this, tell yourself you feel excited and then give yourself one reason why, and I promise you it will change in your body to that. Like, there's some times where I haven't necessarily wanted to do something, or I also grew up with a lot of social anxiety, and so like doing social things would make me feel anxious because I'd always feel like, oh, I don't know how to keep a conversation with somebody, or I feel awkward or stupid around other people, or whatever it may be. I had a ton of social anxiety, and it would cause me to like bail out of a lot of like hangouts and stuff, or whatever, just because I just felt so anxious about like new connections and stuff. But I started experimenting, like back when I worked at the call centers I used to work at and stuff. That's when my social anxiety was really bad. But I used to tell myself when I would feel that way, I change it to excitement. Oh, I'm actually excited because, and then I would give it a reason why. And that's the only reason that we have these certain limiting thoughts based on fear and stuff, is because our brain just doesn't have more information than that. And so our job is not necessarily to believe the thoughts that we have and believe the limitations that we have, but to challenge them and question them and understand them, and also provide the flip side of the coin of what that could look like. And all of a sudden your brain's like, oh, okay. And you just realize how many things you've believed as a fact when in fact it was a story based off fear or feeling a specific way. Like, our brain provides us with so much information that we just take as fact. Like, it is proven in court, it is fact. But so often than not, that's not even true. And if you ask your brain for the evidence that it's true, it won't be able to provide you with the evidence. You know, it's like, oh, people always try to do this to me, or this person's intentions. We have these whole worlds, these whole universes that we live inside of in our heads. And it has its own bias, its own narrative based on the feelings you've felt in the past, the experiences you've had, and all of our assumptions and judgments and preferences are all based on that. So I just started asking, like, well, what else could be true? Or what is the evidence that this is true? And once you actually start to question the things your brain says, it's like, oh, I didn't know that I was going to be asked about this. I don't have the evidence. I didn't know that I was going to be challenged on this. It's just really, really crazy once you start not being involved in that thought and that fear, but starting to witness it on the outside and question it and play with it a little bit. So if there's anybody who has felt like they don't have what it takes to make their creative dreams come true, I promise it's being brought to you for an exact reason. You have much more potential than you believe that you do, and you'll only see that when you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and not allow it to paralyze you. Like, no one's saying we can't I encourage you to feel everything as fully as you can, right? It's just when we start to create thoughts that amplify certain emotions or thoughts that aren't even true, if those are the emotions that are driving us, like it's not based on our truth or our true potential, you know? So just question your thoughts, manage your thoughts, and truly allow yourself to fully accept and feel your feelings and allow them to be there as long as they want to be there while you go do the thing. And I promise you will begin to change so drastically in the most beautiful way possible. And it all comes down from being willing to feel that thing that feels scary to feel. Haylee, your ability to talk for an extended period while being interested at the same time is impressive. Forrest, that really does mean a lot to me because that is something I really feel like I had to work on. Like I was just telling you, I've had social anxiety pretty much my entire life. My YouTube channel, that's like the first time I ever started to talk in this way to anybody, you know, and so I've learned a lot about myself and my business, and it means a lot to me that I'm able to communicate with you guys in a way that feels more effective now and that you understand and resonate with. That really means a lot to me because I promise you that's been one of my main insecurities growing up and stuff is like my ability, like I just feel like I haven't been able to hold conversations with people or I think sometimes I'm more not sometimes. I feel like I'm more childlike in nature and how I think and how I communicate, and that was a big insecurity for a while as well because I just didn't feel like an adult around other people. But all of the things that I felt insecure about, I feel like I've been able to utilize in a completely new way. And usually the things that make us unique that we try to hide, that becomes our superpower. So whatever that is an innate part of you that maybe you felt like you've had to bury down or hide from others, ask how you can amplify that in a way that actually gives you power. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie or the movie Soul, but everybody has their own unique spark that they were given that nobody else has, and I truly believe that is true for all of us. And my dream is to allow a space for all of us to discover that together. I hope you guys know how much I love you. I talk about you all the time with my boyfriend and amazing individuals that always seem to show up and be here. I love you guys so much. I like I can't, even if I don't know what to say or I don't know how to say things, just knowing that I have the most incredible community with amazing, amazing people that I get to show up and talk to, like, I don't know, it just makes it easy. It just makes it easy to show up for you guys. Yes, oh, you guys are so sweet. Forest, Anime Girl, you guys are amazing. You guys are incredible. Thanks for chilling and hanging out with me. And maybe this is a little boring live, you know. It is probably nice to be in a slightly different environment. But I still, even after a long day, I just wanted to come on and let you guys know that I am thinking about you even when I'm not around. And I think one of the things I'm trying to work through now is I want you guys to know that I'm always working on something. I'm always working on creating something. I'm always working on some sort of content, my website, whatever it may be. And sometimes I have a hard time keeping up with YouTube at the same time while I'm getting these projects figured out. And I'm very active in Telegram, so please, please, please feel free to come over to the community chat because I want us to stay connected. But I just hope you guys don't think that I'm too far away or I'm not around very much because I'm always here. I'm very easy to reach out to and find. On Telegram, I'm very active in the group, and a lot of the time, if you reach out and message me and answer a question, I'll be able to answer. You know, it's just consistent content on here has been a little bit difficult up until this point because there's so many things I'm working on, and I just wish I could show you guys all of the things that I'm working on so that you know there's so many things that are coming. But even though I do kind of work in that way, I think it's also difficult for me to maybe think that you guys just think that I just am gone. I'm not working on anything. I'm just not here because I really want to be a part of your guys' lives, your day, your community, and I just really want you guys to know how much I appreciate you and how I'll always be there for you guys as much as I can. Um, and do you like Jimi Hendrix? Oh yeah, I like Jimi Hendrix. Any astral projection tips? So let's see. Any astral projection tips? There's so many, but let me try to categorize them. Okay, a good astral projection tip that I would say is to really explore the process for you in particular. Like, because some people don't really feel the vibrations when they go into sleep paralysis, you know? And maybe some people, like, it's completely different for someone else. And after you go through the process of inducing mind awake body asleep and practicing inducing an out-of-body experience, you're going to notice phases that you go through. Like maybe when you first lay down, it's, you take some deep breaths to create more heaviness in your body, and then eventually you start to get random daydreams or random thoughts or images. As we know, hypnagogic imagery starts to come in as soon as you start to feel relaxed, right? But maybe the very next thing you experience before you enter sleep paralysis or whatever is like a wave of cold chills or a temperature change, or these are things that I experience, which is why I'm going to be using them in that way. But there's going to be certain qualities of the process of your experience that not everybody goes through. And so if you learn what the process feels like, you're going to know how close you are to inducing an out-of-body experience, or if you're not in the right state at all. Like, for example, there's some people that say, oh, I've been laying here for like hours and hours and hours and nothing's happening. If that's happening, I'd recommend just trying again another day, maybe letting yourself fall asleep, and then once you like wake up while you're still kind of like tired and groggy, maybe then try again. But you don't want to just like beat the shit out of one technique and don't try anything else. You really want to play around with how different techniques affect you and how long the process is from wakefulness to sleep, because that's going to be different from everybody. And the more you get familiar with your own process and your own sleep cycles and things like that, and how you enter these stages and your sleep quality, this is going to really help you troubleshoot your practice to help you figure out, okay, this is what I'm doing right, this is what I could change, or oh, this is why I'm not able to lucid dream or have an OBE because I'm not getting any REM sleep. You'll be able to really test out things in your practice the more you get to know what your practice already looks like. So I would recommend really familiarizing yourself with your specific process of from wakefulness to sleep. Meditation. How's meditation like for you? Do you find it easy to meditate? Where does your mind go when you meditate? You just really want to gather as much information as you can, because as soon as you gather as much information as you can regarding your practice, you're going to be able to know what to experiment with and what to test based on what you need to reach these certain states, or to be relaxed enough to enter those states, if that makes sense. So that's one thing I'd say for an out-of-body experience. The next one is environment. Really take time to set up your environment. For me, it's very hard for me to ever astral project if I have a pillow. So I usually remove all pillows from my bed. And then you can probably roll like a flat blanket on, to lay on. That might be fine. Make sure it's not too hot or too cold in your room. Make sure if you have music, make sure there's not any like super loud notes or tones that could like wake you up. Let's see. Just really, really taking time to set up your environment. Having a very strong intention would also be good for an out-of-body experience, because sometimes you don't expect to be thrown into the experience, and if you don't have a plan, it's kind of like a lucid dream. You can kind of feel overwhelmed by all of the options, and you can feel like you wasted your experience, or maybe you spent your clear experience just sitting there trying to think of what to do. So I always have an intention going into my experiences, and there's sometimes where you're going to have spontaneous experiences, right? So what do you do in that case? Well, comes down to the dream planning journal I talked to you guys about. That's a way to always have an intention written down without needing to think of one if you have a spontaneous experience. Like if you know that the next thing you want to do is meet a specific archetype of yourself or try going to this location or whatever, you're going to you can even review that nightly, just in case it happens. Like, okay, let me just freshen up on my attention, just in case. Like, any way to keep your intention in the forefront of your mind, because you never know when you're going to have a spontaneous experience. So make sure you have a desire or an intention of some sort. What's another good, sorry, I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to break down the process of out-of-body experience in my head. So, okay, mind awake, body asleep, the vibrational state, exit. That's kind of the 3 points that you want to play with. Get really good at inducing mind awake, body asleep, or learn as much as you can around that state. The vibrational state, that's once you successfully induce mind awake, body asleep, and your body is officially asleep, you'll be in the vibrational state. From that point, you'll be exiting the physical body. So those are the 3 main categories that you'll really want to get familiar with when it comes to the out-of-body experience. Again, mind awake, body asleep, then it is the vibrational state, and then it is exiting, or an exit technique. Playing around with those things in particular, I think will be really helpful to your practice. Another tip on out-of-body experiences is to work with your dreams. It's actually a lot easier to have an out-of-body experience when you are working with your dreams, when you're tracking your dreams, especially if you are practicing lucid dreaming, because you can even astral project directly from the lucid dream state. And I do have videos on this. I think it's literally just called astral project from a lucid dream or something, or how to turn a lucid dream into an astral projection. I think that's the name of the video. It's like 4 years old though, so I'll have to make some updated videos. But the more you work with your dreams, I've found the more I have spontaneous out-of-body experiences, and the more I'm working with my dreams, I'm getting random vibrations in, like, during a nap and stuff. So I've just found that working with my dreams and just that state of consciousness in particular kind of heightens everything else. But yeah. My nose is itching. My dog's fur is the culprit, I'm sure. Yes, hello, yes, lucid dreaming is such a blast. It is, you know, it's so crazy. So yeah, I was at the car dealership, like I told you guys today, and she's like, "Oh, I see that you're a content creator on your thing. Can you tell me a little bit about that?" And so I got to get into talking about dreams and all of that with the dealership lady, and then she was telling me about her dream. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I've been having these nightmares where I'm like running away from this and this." And me and her literally started to have like a like almost like a little coaching session while I was signing paperwork. And it's just so cool to just like mentioning dreams. Like, everybody can connect to that on some level, whether they don't have a relationship with their dreams, whether they remember a really vivid dream they had when they were a kid, or whether they are someone that has nightmares. Such a way to start talking to people. Like, it's so refreshing, instead of like, "How's the weather? So what's up today?" It's like, "Have you ever gotten conscious in your dreams?" That was like my icebreaker for like new jobs and stuff also. I'd be like, "I know this is random, but have you ever had a lucid dream before?" I would literally just lay it on them like that. And it just allows you to get into such a more deep conversation. I am not someone who likes really shallow conversations with people. I find it kind of boring. And if we're someone that just has like shallow, normal conversations, like, of course we could be chill and friends, but I'm usually like, "Oh, this isn't someone I'm gonna be like besties with, you know?" So yeah, I thought that was just kind of a little cool thing today. Um, any tips for nightmares? I have very vivid dreams, but don't go lucid. They're usually nightmares. So there's a couple things with nightmares. First of all, nightmares are a sign of a healing mind that shows that you are processing or integrating something that is already within you. So nightmares are a good sign because you are processing and expressing energy and emotion that's already stored inside. So that's why if you ever interrupt your nightmares, or you try to prevent yourself from having them, you may notice that they start to happen more often, or they show up like clockwork. Like, you'll interrupt your dream and then the nightmare's like, "All right, see you next week, girl. I'm gonna be around same time, same day next week." That's because there's something inside that your psyche needs your permission for in order to let go of it. So that's why openness is really more than half of the work with dream work. If you are having a nightmare as well, I do recommend writing it down, because if you don't write it down, the subconscious mind sees that as a way of avoidance and suppressing that memory or that emotion. And so writing down your nightmare shows that you're not afraid of it, you're willing to see it, you're willing to accept it, and you are open to whatever the message is in that nightmare. And just writing down your nightmare, you will notice that they do change. You may have less, you will notice a shift in that realm, especially if you look at the qualities of the nightmare and try to decode some of the symbolism in it. Very, very powerful. Again, nightmares, it's really a sign of your psyche yelling at you that there's something that needs to be seen, and it's not even really anything scary or negative in nature. It's just something that we have been unwilling to face, even if it's unconscious. So writing your nightmare down is an act of awareness and acceptance of that experience. And any dreams that are more heightened energetically, like a nightmare, that's very heightened energetically, right? Because someone's usually chasing us, we're feeling fear for something. It's like a very high energy dream. The dream shows us fear and discomfort and things like that, because think about how fear makes you feel. It makes you feel aware and alert and like super hyper aware. That's symbolically what the subconscious wants you to do, is to become aware and to see what it's showing you. Even though it may make us feel uncomfortable, if we run from it, we're holding on to whatever that is. And so it's so much better just to practice that love and openness and to write down your nightmares. And again, I do have videos on decoding your dreams as well. But you can also communicate with the nightmare. You can ask questions or set intentions before bed, and your subconscious mind will answer you in your dreams. If you even just write down your nightmare at all and practice decoding some of the symbolism in it, that may be the last time you have that nightmare, because you've opened yourself up to being able to witness it. I really just recommend for nightmares not running away from them, not seeing them as anything to be scared of. See your nightmares as like the wounded child version of you, like the crying child version of you. And it does seem like that when you get lucid in a nightmare. That's another thing, is you can train, if you have nightmares about the same thing over and over, you can train yourself to recognize those symbols and to do a reality check, or check if you're dreaming, if you ever run into those things. And once you're able to get lucid in the nightmare, then you don't have to run away anymore, right? In our normal nightmares, we're used to running away because we don't even know what we're dreaming. We don't even know that we're dreaming. But once you know that you are dreaming, now you don't have to run away. You don't even have to do anything in your nightmares. I would just recommend just at least standing there and just observing the dream for exactly what it is. And if there is anything chasing you or anything, the moment you stop running, that thing's going to stop running, because it's a reflection of you. It is you. When you're running away from something in the nightmare, you're running away from a message from yourself. That's why when you change in the nightmare, all of a sudden the nightmare figure also is acting different. It's because it is you. And I remember, I've talked about this before, but I got lucid while I was running away from something on this street, and I just remember realizing I'm running and questioning why I was running. And I just turned around, and I don't remember exactly what it looked like. It was just like some figure or something. But I just stopped running, and I just asked, what do you need? What do you need? And it didn't really say anything to me, but it just changed from being super scary to like I don't know. It was like a reflection of my childhood self. Like, I don't know, it looked like it needed its mom or something. It's very hard to explain. As soon as I opened myself up to it and asked it a question, it like shrunk down, and I was able to hug the nightmare, like hold and hug and embrace the nightmare as if it was like a younger version of me or something. And then the whole dream started to shake, and then it literally like did this like flashbang of just light everywhere. And I never had that nightmare again. And that was something I had like reoccurring for a while, was like being on this like dark suburban street. I felt like I was in GTA or something. And all it takes is awareness and being willing to see something. in a different way. And love is always the answer. I promise you, if there's any energy you're trying to integrate within your nightmare or whatever, like ask yourself how you can show love to this side of yourself and do that. And I promise you, the dream will completely transform. What do you need? How have I been? Like, ask anything. That's what's so cool. When you are in a lucid dream, you have the ability to connect with inner archetypes. This means that you can see a dream character, like an actual person, that represents your inner anger, your creativity, your inner child, your boss business lady self, the version of you that knows how to juggle. Like, whatever archetype you want to connect with to get more information about, it is there. And you can go as deep as the questions you ask. Truly. Like, it is incredible. And they answer you with their own personality. Like, you could literally meet your sense of humor as an actual archetype of a person. And everything about that dream character will represent aspects of your humor. And it's just so cool. Like, what other practice allows you to communicate and make friends with all of these different archetypes? And this is why I truly believe that dream work and lucid dreaming is a way to make friends with ourselves. Because everything that we're exploring within these states, every person that we talk to within these states, it's all aspects of us. And so we're just learning to fall in love with ourselves through this practice. And yeah, when was the last time you asked, like, your nightmare figure or something that seemed like it needed somebody in your dream, like, what do you need? How can I see you? How can I love you? And I promise you, the moment you start doing this work, you're never going to be the same again. Because even in waking life, when you feel discomfort inside, when you feel disturbance inside, instead of judging yourself, instead of trying to run away from it, you're going to want to tend to that spot of yourself immediately. You're going to see some sort of disturbance that is built up inside of you, and you're going to want to open yourself up and tend to that part of yourself immediately. You're not going to see a reason to hide anymore, because you know that the more that you hide from yourself or your thoughts or your emotions, it's just storing it somewhere in your subconscious mind, somewhere in your dream world that will eventually come out. Like, if we knew that's where our unintegrated energy goes, do you think we would keep doing that? No, absolutely not. And there's just nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of. I promise you that these are all aspects of yourself that have such a special superpower that, again, it's just, we don't realize the superpower, the spark that we have while we're buried in all our own shit, like our own perceptions, our own judgments, our own fear, our own insecurities. Like, you will never be able to see the true light of who you actually are if you are scared of those things, if you are scared of what's on top of that light. I promise you, there's nothing to fear. And even the darkest parts of yourself, I promise you, it is so much more beautiful than you could ever imagine. And I think the dream world allows us to see those aspects of ourselves in a way that makes us feel safe, that doesn't feel threatening, you know? So maybe that's one thing. Think about what archetype, if you could meet any archetype within yourself, what inner archetype you'd meet, and what questions you would ask it. I promise you, there's so much to discover about yourself, and you are one dream away from falling even deeper in love with yourself. And again, there's so much that we could talk about on this practice, especially with inner archetypes and stuff, and that is going to be in the course that I'm making. For anyone new here, I've been making some courses and programs on the Peak Audio app, and so it's going to be a 2-week lucid dreaming journey created to help you explore your dreams on a deeper level and learn about lucid dreaming. It's kind of like a lucid dreamer's beginner course, but it's broken down in a way where it's like able to help you integrate each of the little habits to get you to be able to lucid dream in 2 weeks or less. But yeah, that's gonna be super fun. I'm planning to launch it April 4th. And then I think it's gonna be just like $22 or $33, I think, is what me and the Lewis from Peak Audio decided. And then it's going to be available for everybody who is if you haven't seen Peak Audio before, you can basically like subscribe to me like monthly for like $5 or $10 or whatever, and you can either do that and get everything that I make, or you can just look through the different programs and things that you like. I also have been uploading my full sleep music on there. So I know a couple people don't use YouTube Premium, and if you do, here's the thing, everybody, I get so many comments on my second channel of people thinking that I'm putting ads in my sleep music. I do not put any ads in my sleep music. I do not put ads in my sleep music. That totally defeats the purpose of it being sleep music. So if you are getting an ad on my sleep music, it is because you have a free YouTube account, and YouTube's new update, it doesn't even matter now if channels choose not to monetize certain videos, because they're putting their own ads on videos across YouTube. And so the only way to avoid like all ads is to sign up for YouTube Premium. Don't worry, I had to do it too because I listen to my sleep music nightly, so I could test it out. I listened to the track that I released that night. I listened to it during sleep just to test it out and make sure everything's going good. And so I do not put ads in my sleep music. So if you are experiencing that, I'd recommend YouTube Premium or check out Peak Audio. And we're also putting the music on a SoundCloud and Spotify and stuff. It's just been a little bit difficult to do that. I think they think it's like a podcast or something because I'm trying to upload hours long, hours and hours of binaural beats, and they're like, we only allow music. It's like, girl, I am music. So I'll still try to get my binaural beats on there, but yes. That is kind of what's happening right now. But yeah, I just wanted to say hello. I love you guys. It's also 111 on the timestamp. Oh, yeah, I know there was uh like a YouTube ad block thing, but apparently they disabled that now, so that doesn't work, is what I've been told. So yeah, thanks for saying that, Conspiracy Town, because I didn't even know that. I'll have to look into that so I know what options are there for you guys. But yes, thanks for hanging out with me. I know it's a little bit late, but I love you guys so much, and it's been fun to kind of kick it with you a little bit. So I'm gonna go get some work done. I'm gonna go eat a little bit, and then I might play Tears of the Kingdom later if I have some time before sleep. So I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Hello, B Rising. So good to see you. Thank you guys for being here, for being a part of the community. I love you more than anything in the whole world, and I can't wait to see what is in store for us this year, especially once I get out to Washington. So much is going to open up for the both of us. So yes, very excited. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity. Bye guys, have a great night.